and thanks so much for joining me. If you're like me, you probably register another domain name every time you get an idea in the shower or when you're in the car on your way to work. Well, in this video, I want to show you what you can do with that spare domain that you have collecting dust over at your registrar. My name is Ileane, and be sure to subscribe and hit that bell notification if you want to learn how to use digital media to expand your reach online. Now let's get into today's tutorial. We're going to use a free iOS app that's called OnUniverse. Now we get a chance to pick out a template for our site. I'm just going to choose the creator template and go ahead, and I'm going to actually use my name, which is my handle, and then I will just grab for now the YouTube icon, and I'll just go ahead, grab that YouTube icon, fill in my YouTube address. We're going to come back and add photos and other things later on. So right now, Ileane.onuniverse.com is my domain. This is what it looks like inside of the app. So it's all set up now. But we're not going to use the free domain from OnUniverse because remember, we already have that domain sitting around. So let's go over to the how-to section. We're going to scroll all the way down. Use a domain you already own. Universe doesn't yet support domain transfers, but you can easily point your existing domain to Universe site. So go through your registrar. In this case, we're going to use Namecheap and then use the forward option. So let's head over to the Namecheap dashboard, and you'll see on Namecheap, first thing I need to do is change it to the Namecheap basic DNS. Then I need to click on redirect, add the redirect, fill in the Ileane.live, and then change it to Ileane.onuniverse.com. And now you can see we'll head over to a browser window and type in Ileane.live, and there you have it. We're on Ileane.onuniverse.com. And now we can go and fill in all the different widgets for all the social media networks, and we'll have basically a landing page that we can refer people to when we're on our live streams as well as when we're on our podcast. Hey, so what are some of the domains that you've registered? Leave me a comment and let me know, and maybe we can put those old domains to use. Thanks for joining me for today's Media Mogul Moment. Yes, thank you so much for being here. And you know, I'm using the OnUniverse app, and it's an iOS only app. But for those of you who don't have iOS, don't worry. There's so many other options out there. But you know I have so many domains that I just have these ideas, and then, you know, like I go over to Namecheap, because it's a little cheaper there, or I go to GoDaddy if I just so happen to be checking on something, and you know, I use that to just register ideas, and it's kind of like a parking lot. I just put it over there, and like, well, maybe one day I'll figure out what I'm going to do with it. And so what happened to me, I'll tell you how this all came about. Hi, Jason. Oh, first I want to say hi to some of the folks that have come in. And of course, Larry Snow is here. Hello, Mr. Snow. Thanks for coming. And Alfredo is here as well. And let's see where Alfredo said that Facebook notified him that I posted over in one of our Facebook groups called Work and Focus. Thank you, Facebook. I appreciate you for keeping my friends notified. You're good for something. Facebook, I don't care what they say about you. And then also, Jason Allen has arrived. Thanks so much, Jason. You guys, you know, I always try to encourage you to be sure to connect with one another. So go ahead and click those 3 dots next to the chat, and then you can see go to channel. So I'll demonstrate that a little bit later, because right now I want to just really talk a little bit more about why I had this domain that I want to revive. It's just been sitting there. And I actually use SiteGround. That's going to be my new host that I'm recommending for folks. And actually got introduced to SiteGround at a WordCamp. And if you ever get a chance to attend a WordCamp, you know, the folks at WordPress put on these WordCamps and they're always free. And in this case, they had the WordCamp US and the event was free. But in this case, it was a 2-day event and you had to pay like just for your registration just to have lunch and dinner. Actually, they fed you for 2 days, lunch and dinner, and for $35. You know, that was just, actually, they gave us extra because I don't even know where you can have 2 days worth of lunch and dinner for $35. But anyway, so if you get an opportunity to attend a WordCamp, you get to meet some of the vendors as well as attending the sessions and so forth. So Yankees Outdoors is here. How you doing? Great that you made it to one of the live streams. Thank you so much for coming, my dear. So what they did, and I shared this with my patrons only, is they gave us 1 year of free hosting. You just had to enter a special code. And sorry, I can't give that to you guys. You have to be a patron to get things like that. Perks that you get from being a patron over on patreon.com/Ileane. So anyway, I had this domain just sitting there and of course didn't matter because it was free, but I've decided that I wanted to move some of my existing websites over. So now I am paying. I hope you guys are still there. I'm not sure what happened. I was about to go live on my mobile, but when I came back, everything started back up again. Thank you for your patience. And it told me to resume, and it looks like somebody's still here. I see that 3 people are still here. So thank you. Yeah, Christian. Wow, is right. You know, my computer froze. And I don't know if you guys could hear me saying that I was frozen and that I was going to try to come back on. So yeah, I'm back. And it came right back into the same live stream. So that was pretty cool. Yes. So now let me finish with my story. This is the storytelling segment of this. Actually, I think it was YouTube, to be honest with you. I don't know how it made my computer crash. Because when I grabbed my iPhone 8 Plus to go live, YouTube wouldn't do anything. And so then I grabbed my 6 Plus and it started working, but then my computer rebooted right at the same time. So all is well. And now, yes, thank you. Alfredo says, welcome back. Thanks, Alfredo. And also Christian Cantalanos. Castellanos. Jeez, I hope I did that right. Girl, I tried to put a little extra on it. So, what I wanted to mention to you guys about all these domains I have laying around, and I had the Ileane.live, and it wasn't doing anything for me. So, I had to rectify that. And what I did was I took IleaneSmith.com and I actually moved it over to the SiteGround because IleaneSmith.com is basically on a dedicated server, and I'm not even going to mention who the old host was. I'm not saying anything bad about them, but I know that I'm going to be recommending SiteGround going forward. So I don't want to confuse you guys. So once I moved Ileane Smith over to SiteGround and then no longer needed to have the Ileane.live, I realized that what would make sense would be for me to just go ahead and use the OnUniverse app in order to take advantage of having that Ileane.live. So now I want to hear from you guys that are in the chat room. Do you have those spare domains just lying around that you have these ideas? I know I get my ideas in the shower. Sometimes when I'm in the car driving, maybe I could be going to work, but I could be going anywhere. It doesn't matter. I could just be driving. And in fact, that's how I got the name for Basic Blog Tips, because I knew I wanted to go from a WordPress.com blog to a self-hosted WordPress blog. And I was on my way to work and just trying to think, what am I going to call this blog? And so I just came up with Basic Blog Tips. And I could not wait to get to work to see if that domain was taken. And lo and behold, couldn't believe that it wasn't taken. I was like, what? Nobody has Basic Blog Tips? And so I was very delighted, and I registered it immediately. And I've been using that domain since 2010. And you have a spare YouTube channel, but not websites. Isn't that interesting? So, Larry, are those spare YouTube channels that you were going to, you had ideas of something you were going to do with them, and you just never got around to it? And I love that my friend Beauty Bubble is here. Hi, Beauty. Thank you for coming. And you just missed the little snafu we had here where the stream was interrupted. And let me just make sure we are on the same URL. I'm pretty sure we are because you guys are here. Yeah? Oh, yeah. We are on the same URL because that same page just popped back up. And then also Christian was telling me that we can call him Angry Grandpa. Okay, Christian. All right. So, yes. So Larry said one of his spare YouTube channels he was going to use for a vlog channel and a tech channel. Well, you kind of do tech already, but vlogging is hard. Vlogging, it takes a lot of either just releasing the fact that things aren't going to be perfect, they're not going to be pre-planned, and just things are just going to go wrong. And that's kind of hard for some folks that like to have control to do. But especially if you're someone who doesn't live alone and doesn't have pets, you know, it's kind of hard to do vlogging. I find it's not as easy to be entertaining on vlogging unless your whole family is okay with it and they all want to be part of the vlog. There's that. I don't know how often that happens. But what I want to do is, since we had that little break, I'm going to just replay that video for those of you who got here late. I just want you to see how you can use Namecheap to forward your domain name over to, in this case, a mobile website that you would create on your iOS device using OnUniverse. If you're like me, you probably register another domain name every time you get an idea in the shower or when you're in the car on your way to work. Well, in this video, I want to show you what you can do with that spare domain that you have collecting dust over at your registrar. My name is Ileane, and be sure to subscribe and hit that bell notification if you want to learn how to use digital media to expand your reach online. Now let's get into today's tutorial. We're going to use a free iOS app that's called OnUniverse. Now we get a chance to pick out a template for our site. I'm just going to choose the creator template and go ahead, and I'm going to actually use my name, which is my handle, and then I will just grab for now the YouTube icon, and I'll just go ahead, grab that YouTube icon, fill in my YouTube address. We're going to come back and add photos and other things later on. So right now, Ileane.onuniverse.com is my domain. This is what it looks like inside of the app. So it's all set up now. But we're not going to use the free domain from OnUniverse, because remember, we already have that domain sitting around. So let's go over to their how-to section. We're going to scroll all the way down. Use a domain you already own. Universe doesn't yet support domain transfers, but you can easily point your existing domain to Universe site. So go through your registrar. In this case, we're going to use Namecheap and then use the forward option. So let's head over to the Namecheap dashboard, and you'll see on Namecheap, first thing I need to do is change it to the Namecheap basic DNS. Then I need to click on redirect, add the redirect, fill in the Ileane.live, and then change it to Ileane.onuniverse.com. And now you can see, we'll head over to a browser window and type in Ileane.live, and there you have it. We're on Ileane.onuniverse.com. And now we can go and fill in all the different widgets for all the social media networks, and we'll have basically a landing page that we can refer people to when we're on our live streams, as well as when we're on our podcast. Hey, so what are some of the domains that you've registered? Leave me a comment and let me know, and maybe we can put those old domains to use. Thanks for joining me for today's. Yes, we can. We got to put those old domains to use. I actually decided, you know how you make those New Year's resolutions? And I said, you know what? This year, I'm not going to auto-renew all those domains. If I'm not using a domain, I'm not going to renew it. So I have one right now that's hanging in the balance. It may make me not do too well on my New Year's resolution. And that's, I might as well tell you guys, because we're all friends here, PhillyLivestream.com. Boy, I love that domain. And, and I am probably even bigger live streamer than I was when I first registered that domain. But I haven't used it. I think I've had it, that one's over at GoDaddy. I think I've had it for 3 years now, or 2, at least 2 for sure, 2.5 probably. And I'm like, when am I going to use that domain? I got to do something with it. So I don't know in the meantime. So let's just see if we can really quickly, I'm going to, let's see whatever it screen shares, that's what I'm going to screen share right now. Oh, good. It screen shared the right thing. Yay. So this is what the OnUniverse app looks like. Andy doesn't have a domain.com. Andy Hatchett is here. Andy, we got to get you a domain, my dear. Why not? Why don't you register domains? Now, Andy, in this video, and for those of you who are Android, this app that I'm showing you OnUniverse is iOS app, but I know there's got to be other solutions that are out there. As a matter of fact, I see a lot of people, and I'm really glad that this came up, because a lot of people are using something called Linktree for Instagram. And so, an Instagram profile, you only can have that one link. And so it goes over to a site called Linktree. And you do have to pay for Linktree. And it will just give you a list. Basically, when somebody goes to that landing page, it's a list of just all your sites. And it's pretty a static list of, your YouTube, your Twitter, your website, whatever you have on there. And I do believe that they charge you based on the number of links that you have on that page. So I think it's up to 5 links or something like that. Well, that's one that I think it's a great option for folks that are using it. It's cool. But you know me, I like to have my branding, right? You guys know the branding to me is important. And to remember Linktree, and it's not exactly spelled Linktree, it's something convoluted. And it doesn't promote your brand. Now, if you were going to combine it with Rebrandly, the app that I showed you last week, you could use Rebrandly, and then you'd have your branding there, and then you would just have people go to that link and then it would take them over to that Linktree page. But the Linktree page is super duper boring, nowhere near as cute as this OnUniverse, which I'm going to show you again right now. Oh wait, let's see, let's get some more of these comments up here. And it's so cool on YouTube. Yes, thank you, Angry Grandpa. Why did you didn't have domain? Oh, I guess that question is for you, Andrew. Okay, so yeah, and you know, Andrew, you are a big YouTuber, so and you know what? The Namecheap, I believe right now they're having a sale, and it's going to be IleaneSmith.com/Namecheap, and you can get the domain for 48 cents for the first year. I'm not sure how much it is when you register again. So just to give you an idea, this is the page that you go to when you're going to make your edits. And I did show this before in a previous video, but just really quickly, they've added some other options and all that. So I thought it would be a good time for us to go over this again. Now, like I said before, I can change all of this stuff. I can go in here and add. Right now, I've got my Patreon there. I've got my Twitter. You just bring up the widgets and then add in your handle. So now in this case, I want to make a block that's a little bit bigger. Okay, so then I can put in a video. Oh, some more of my friends are here. Let's get their comments up on screen. It's all about Twitch now. Forget YouTube. Oh, you know what, Larry? I see you over there on Twitch because it lets me know that you're watching, and I know you've been watching a lot of Twitch. I got some Twitch tips for you in a second. You know, I just want to show this one thing here, and then my friend Pat Murray is here. Hey, Patricia, getting ready for the wedding. Tell your niece I said congratulations. Everybody let Patricia know, and her niece is getting married today. Congratulations. Okay. No domain because I have no website, just G+ communities and YouTube. Yes, but see, okay, I'm glad you brought that up. So I'm coming back on cam. I'm glad you brought that up, Andrew. The only reason why you would want to register a domain is as you've been creating all these tutorials and putting out all this valuable content, and you can have that domain. Let's just say it was andrewhatchett.tips. I'm just using that as an example because I know they have .tips, they have .link, .click, all that stuff. And as you maybe start focusing on a different platform, let's just say, for example, Google Plus goes away. I'm not trying to wish anything bad on Google Plus. I love Google Plus, okay? But just use it as an example because we know stuff does shut down in the night sometimes, right? If you had that link, the andrewhatchett.tips, you could just go in there and change that, whether it's going to your Google Plus community or anything like that, you could change it. And then no matter what, 5 years from now, 3 years from now, 6 months from now, it would go wherever you want it to go. So people would see your old videos or your old content wherever you're posting it, and they would remember Andrew Hatchett, not, you know, Google Plus. .com/ you know what I'm saying? So just think about it. It's if you're comfortable with the way you're doing it, I just want to show you the different options that you could do. And this is the reason why I like this app for those of you who are on iOS, because if you don't have a website, this is perfect for you because it's free. So anyway, if I want to put a video in here now, in this case, it would be a video from my phone. So actually the video is too long. That's okay. Please select a smaller clip from this video. And basically this was the video that I used to introduce that I was going to be live today. But let's just say I, used it and said, I'm Ileane Smith and welcome to Ileane.live, right? And that would be it. And then I could have that little block there so that when people come, they could see that. And let me go back to the app so you can see how it looks. It actually looks like a GIF. So that's cool because, GIFs are the hot thing right now, or GIF, however you want to say it. And then you can add another block down here. here's the section where you have the links. And I love this because I talked to the developer of this app and I said, you need to have one for your podcast. And so here's Apple Podcasts. I asked him to add Patreon, and he added Patreon for me. I'm so happy he did that. If you had an app in the App Store, you would add that there. Spotify, there's Twitch. He had Twitch all along. Then if you've got Anchor or SoundCloud, Behance, Medium. So if you've got the Medium blogs, you could do that, or you could just add a link to a website. Okay, so these are all the things that you can do with this app now, and they've increased the templates. You can remove rows. So like for this one, I probably would go ahead and remove that. Oh, that was that bottom row. Wait, let's remove. Oh, so I just added a whole nother grid of rows. So it's a really user-friendly app. It's really cool, and so I love it. I just wanted to make sure I introduced you guys to it again. So with that, I'm just going to close it out now and screen share something else. Your comments. I know it takes me a while to get to that. There you go. And, you know, of course, we don't have to do this anymore. I don't anyway, because I'm using Ecamm. So I can put those comments up there individually. Okay, and Christians are familiar with Namecheap. I will probably do one with my signature salute. There you go. Pat, that's fantastic because you have that as your profile pic on Facebook. So you could definitely do it that way. Yes. Wonderful. I'm glad you're getting, and Pat, you have iPhone, so you should definitely download that app because, like I said, it's free. And, you know, in my case, I happen to have a domain, but they do have ways that also you can get extra domains by referring people to download the app. And so, I turned it off, but there's a little point system they have in there. If somebody clicks on it, or if they start up a site, or, you know, you get points. And then that lets you get extra stuff. So you can get those domains for free. And so I had so many points from the last video that I did. And I'll be sure to link to that video in the description here so you can see that. But they've added so many different options now that, you know, I'm like, wow, this is worth showing again. And I think it's a great idea to use because it's mobile friendly. So a lot of us do have websites. But actually, when you look at them on mobile, they either load really slowly or they just don't look that cool. Then people got to pinch and zoom, you know, in order to find what they need on your site. And it's not cool. I got to be honest. I have looked at a couple of my properties and I was like, ooh, I don't like the way that looks on mobile. But this is a quick way to get people introduced to you, you know. So maybe somebody's researching you, they heard about you and they're wondering, maybe they want to do an interview with you. They know you do an interview show and they're like, let me check this person out. Or maybe they want you to promote their product and they're like, let me just check this person out. And so you add this to your email signature. So, you know, and use it as an about page, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to use this as my about page because that's the other thing I wanted to tell you guys. I was using about.me. So let me go over to that. About.me/Ileane. And it's okay, but they keep changing. Actually, it didn't go to that Ileane. Hang on. I'm sorry, guys. Oh, because I didn't type it in right. And every time I think I have it set up exactly the way I want it and, you know, it looks good, then they change it. So this was the last change that they made, which I wasn't happy about at all. And that's this one. You know, I had it looking all pretty. I had a background on it and had my widgets all lined up in the way I wanted them and sections, and now I have this, and I'm like, well, I don't like that. I mean, it's okay. It does the same purpose of what I mentioned to you, about OnUniverse. But to me, your OnUniverse just looks so much prettier, and it's interactive, and you can also follow other people's OnUniverse inside of there, similar to what you could do with About Me. But About Me has kind of taken some of that social aspect away that they used to have when it first came out. So let's see what Larry said here. There's a push now for websites to be more adaptive to the size of the screen than responsive to the size, more user-friendly. And there's also a big push for apps and for anything related to voice, with our Lexi and HomePod. And so, with most of the podcasting hosts now putting us on Spotify and also giving us skills for Lexi, that's a quick way that you can get somebody to download your skill. Just add that little link on your OnUniverse page. Or once they're subscribed to your podcast, because you use the podcast link, right? So let's see. Yuck. But About Me is still great for SEO and search rank. Yes, it is. If the person is on their website, if they're on desktop, I don't know how that compares desktop versus mobile. I'm going to do an incognito search for Ileane and see what happens. Hang on just 1 second, because you bring up excellent points. And, I've been doing a lot more on LinkedIn lately. Larry knows about that. And some of you guys have heard me talking about LinkedIn and me switching some of my efforts over there. It's a slow process, though. So I'm just going to see, because LinkedIn was always the first thing, and I want you guys to see too. So I'm going to just go over to that incognito window here. Make sure I'm just sharing that. You guys got the chat behind you, right? So wait, let me zoom in so we can just see what happens when I go in here, and all I have is Ileane. And it tried to pre-fill, but I truncated it, so it's just Ileane. Let's see what comes up. Think baby names. Isn't that horrible? I'd much rather have LinkedIn up there than that. But then there's my Twitter, YouTube for the win. Yay! My website. Oh my goodness. And even though there's some other Ileanes out there, it's clear who the real Ileane is. No offense to the other Ileanes, because y'all cool too, but you know what I'm saying. And then there's my Udemy profile. And back to the baby names. Yeah, my name is getting popular. And there's that old blog, basic blog tips. Love ya. And Ileane Rudolph, she's the other semi-famous Ileane. She actually writes for TV Guide. And then there's my Medium page, which I guess I better throw an article up there just to have one, because I really don't use it. So see, now my LinkedIn went all the way down to the second page. Isn't that interesting how Medium, which I don't even write for, I haven't written an article on Medium in, I don't know, over a year for sure. And how that's on the first page and LinkedIn is on page 2. So we got to do something about that. And maybe I need to, like I said, publish more on Medium. And Ileane Rudolph, I'm trying to get you off the page 1. You cool and all of that. And, I get those BuzzSumo alerts. They're magnificent, aren't they, Larry? I'm fine, Jordan. How are you? Oh, who was Jordan? I didn't see Jordan. Oh, hi, J Wick 0418,000. How you doing, my dear? And I'm not sure if I know who that was. I sub you. I'm autistic and autism not speak. My name Jordan. Okay, Jay Wick. That's cool. And I'm definitely going to subscribe to you as well. Thank you so much. And thank you for coming to the stream. today. Let's get that chat open because I'm going to make sure, and I know I've always told you guys how to make sure that you're following one another, but since Jordan brought it up, and I popped the chat window out so long ago that I have to pop it out again because I lost it. Okay, hang on. So what I had to do, in order, if that ever happens to you, I had to refresh the watch page so I can open up that chat window. Okay, so now I got way too many windows open. Let me minimize things. Let me take this comment off of here. And now I'll screen share again. Oh, so I got the chat up twice. Okay. If I could find that other one. Oh, it was behind Ecamm. There you go. All right, we only need it once. All right. So here's just to remind those of you who are new, you want to connect with each other. Like, for example, everybody definitely needs to connect with Larry Snow. You click on those three dots over there. You go to the person's channel. That opens up a new window, which you guys aren't seeing because a new window popped up. So I'm going to make sure I do that right now for Jay Wick and also for Christian. But let me do Jay Wick first since he mentioned it. And we're going to subscribe there. I got you, Jay Wick, Jason. And I'm closing out windows little by little. Somebody's messaging me over on Facebook. And Christian, I got to make sure that I connect with you, my dear. Okay. Wonderful. Yeah. This is what it's all about, guys. You know, doing these live streams, it's about community. It's about connecting with you guys and being able to answer any questions or to bring up your feedback. Like, for example, he says, okay, hi, how are you? You're fine. Oh, okay, great. And Beauty Bubble is saying, hi, Patricia. And Fax Media Global, good morning. How are you? And you have such vibrant covers on your thumbnails, Fax Media Global. I wanted to mention that because sometimes I'm like going through my YouTube subscription feed and then all of a sudden I just see this bright colors out the corner of my eye and I'm like, oh, I know who that is. That's Fax Media Global. Okay. And so, wonderful. And putting up some more comments. Oops, that didn't go that time. And Christian just said, that's cool. Okay, Christian, thank you. Thank you. So, back to what we were talking about with the domains. And I just want to make sure that you guys are familiar with, you know, the benefit of having your own domain. And, you know, it's really about branding. It really is. And, you know, if you have a company or if you have some type of, maybe you're someone who just wants to use a persona, like, for example, Christian is using a persona and then also the Fax Media Global. You want to try to have that domain name. And you may say right now, well, I don't have a website. I really don't need it. But domains are very inexpensive. They're very inexpensive. And like I said, I do have an affiliate link for Namecheap, IleaneSmith.com/Namecheap. You can register that domain for like 48 cents for the first year. Now, depending upon when you're watching this, if you're watching this in late 2018, it may be up to 99 cents now. But still, to have your domain, and those of you who have small children, you may want to register their domains so that they have them as they're growing up. Because, you know, let's face it, the internet is probably not going anywhere. And, you know, they'll have it in the future. They'll have that domain, even if you guys don't use it or do anything, or even if you just want to post some baby pics, who knows? And I realized, even though I had the basic blog tips, that I needed to have my own name registered. So it's starting to be where people are literally searching for me. And I know I see it on YouTube. And that's just that name recognition, because I'm always spelling my name, Ileane. Wait, I got a song coming out, because one day I thought of a cute way to say it as a song, And then Mr. Rodney started saying, like, he doesn't know. He's going to get spliced into my next latest hit. Of course, I'll get his permission later. But, it's just a good idea to just have your domain, even if you're not planning on using it right now. You squat on your own name. Yeah. Because, in fact, on YouTube, like my name, you have to go through to Ileane Smith, because there is a young lady who has Ileane. And this girl, she's from Singapore, and she's very famous over in Singapore. She's a professional pole dancer, and she teaches it as, a form of exercise and all that. But she didn't secure those other handles. So I'm not sure what her last name is, but, of course I followed her from the day I tried to sign up for YouTube back in 2009. I tried to sign up for youtube.com/Ileane, and I'm like, no, somebody took it. And then over the years, I get those Google alerts and now BuzzSumo alerts every time Ileane is mentioned, and she gets all kinds of awards. She's just really a fabulous athlete. And Rob Barb, good morning, Auntie Ileane in my head from Jersey. Ileane, A&E. Thank you so much for coming, my dear. Yes, I subscribe to you. Yep, I sure did. And okay, I hope you're getting my messages. Where are you sending me messages, Rob Barb? I'm not sure where you're sending me messages at. You said you hope I'm getting your messages. And let me make sure that I am following you and that I even know who you are. Okay. I'm not sure I'm getting your messages, my dear. You've been watching me a long time. Thank you so much for saying that, because I've been around for ages. So it's nice to know that folks that have been watching me through the years are still sticking with me. I haven't done anything to make you say, unsubscribe. You're still subscribed, but I love that you came to my live stream and you were able to contribute to the comments and all that. And so I hope that you have your own domain. And so for those of you who weren't here earlier when I asked, if you have a domain that you've registered that you just haven't done anything with, I'd love to hear what some of your domains are. So please just go ahead and type them in the chat. And another thing about domains is that Fifi Laflune told me about that is good with domain. Well, another thing that's good about domain is that you can sit on a domain and eventually someone will pay you for that domain. You can put them up on the auction block. For example, with my project that I worked on earlier this year, which was free podcast host. That was where I went through all the different free podcast hosting, compared the options of what features different hosts have, like Anchor and Spreaker and Podbean and Buzzsprout and a little SoundCloud as well. I compared them all, and I did a podcast that lasted for about a month and a half. And I registered the Twitter handle and the Periscope and all that, and also Twitch handle for free podcast host. But guess what? The domain freepodcasthost.com is being squatted on. Somebody's squatting on that domain, so it was going to cost me a little bit more to get that domain. And I was like, that's okay. I just used freepodcast.host. So it was kind of a workaround. But if that weren't just a little side project that I was doing, let's just say I wanted to just build out websites and all of that with free podcast host, I would go ahead and pay for it because it wasn't that expensive. But there's other cases where the name that someone has, domain that someone has squatted, and it sounds like a bad thing, but it's not a bad thing if you're the one who's doing the squatting. and you get somebody to pay you good money for that domain. Okay, so it's something to think about. People do that. I'm sure some folks have made some good money squatting on domains. Okay, I just want to hopefully meet you at a meet and greet. Well, I am going to be at Podcast Movement. And if you are in Philadelphia in July, let's go over to the Podcast Movement website. Oh my gosh, I am so happy that I got my ticket. And those folks are so cool, like Jared Easley and Dan Franks, and of course my buddy Gary Leland. Let me screen share that. I'll minimize that one. Screen share this one, and let me just tell you guys, I'm going to get a chance to meet Pat Flynn again, and let's see if we can, it's coming to my town, so I don't have to worry about airfare and all that stuff, because it's coming here. And this is the best way to connect with fellow podcasters. And so it's being sponsored. Here's some of the sponsors that they have. But let's see if I can get up to the schedule, conference schedule. And my daughter, she's going along with me because, my daughter has a very successful podcast called Better Than Success. And so here you get to go into all the different sessions that they're having and the agenda. And I know there's going to be over 100 speakers. Let's go to the speakers page really quickly and see how they have them listed. Okay, it's not alphabetical order, so it's kind of like you pretty much can just scroll down and see all the folks that you're going to be able to have an opportunity to meet. And this is just going to be fantastic. All different kinds of podcasters. So that is the meet and greet that I will be at. And I cannot wait. July can't get here fast enough for me. So I don't know about you, but yeah, it's going to be really, really a great event. And I'm so glad it's coming to my town, because otherwise I just would not be able to afford it this year, because I got some other stuff going on with my life. And it's all good, though. It's all good stuff. So let's see. Here we go. Jason said, not no domain. I have Wix, and I will like Wix. Okay, Wix. You can get a domain on Wix? Yeah, sure. Let's see. You're always teaching me something new. I've never heard of it before, and it's like a whole new world. Oh, that's so nice. I'm so glad to hear that. Thank you so much. I love this positive feedback, you guys. Are you guys going to tell me what domains you have registered, or you don't have any domains registered? And speaking of this, I better get this up here so you can see. I was just bragging about my daughter and her amazing podcast. So I better introduce you to it. And she's got a fantastic YouTube channel as well here that she's just getting underway here, getting some videos up there. And okay, here we go. The Better Than Success podcast. And so it's just betterthansuccess.com/podcast. We're building that email list, right? Ain't nothing wrong with it. So there you go. I want you guys to make sure you subscribe. Let's see, what was the last guest that she had on? Last week, she interviewed, well, she didn't actually interview, but her staff, they came on and they talked about branding secrets, because she's going to have a webinar coming up about branding. And so they shared some of their branding secrets. And so then prior to that, she interviewed someone who talks about her survival story of brain tumors. Then there's a credit reporting, credit score repair person that she talked to. And this guy, Rick Codio, he is a well-known photographer. And then this is the episode where she had the tables turned on her. This is my daughter right here. And her friend Kyrie interviewed her to talk about business failures and, you know, how to regroup from those. And so I'm extremely proud of her. So, you know, that's a whole nother YouTube channel video. But make sure you subscribe to her YouTube channel as well. So let's see what else you guys are saying. Well, I don't have one I forgot about. I have, oh, he does have a domain, FHISO.org, for a nonprofit he belongs to. Yay! See, Andrew? It's always good to have that domain in the hip pocket. And what I like to do is ones that I know I'm going to keep, like, for example, IleaneSmith.com. I'm keeping that, right? So when a renewal comes up, yeah, just renew me for 2 years because I don't have to think about it. You know, because the first year is always cheap. And then little by little, it goes up. I just want you guys to warn that. I mentioned the 48-cent one with Namecheap, but the second and third year. And that's cool because after a year, you've kind of decided, do I really want to keep this domain? Or have I done anything with it? Or, you know, is it just like, oh, it was a good idea at the time, but. So I had a few that, like I said, I'm getting rid of them because they were good ideas at the time. I'll tell you one that I dropped last year. And I didn't even wait for my New Year's resolution. And that was Blogging is Alive. I had the Twitter handle, Blogging is Alive. And that Twitter account is still out there. But I think my last tweet was, this is the last tweet on this account. Follow me at Ileane. You know, because I just don't talk about blogging as much, even though today I'm talking about websites and having your own domain. I'm not speaking so much on the topic of blogging because folks are doing Medium and all that. Not necessarily, everybody doesn't have to do WordPress. And this app that I was telling you about today, OnPublish, you can blog on the OnPublish app. You just add those blog posts in there. And after some of my suggestions, they made the links clickable. So it's perfect for a podcaster. Somebody who's got, especially like an Anchor podcast. You got an Anchor podcast. You don't have a website. This is a great way. Instead of sending folks to Anchor all the time, right? You can send them where they can find out more about you. And it has your branding. It will be your URL, where they could still play the podcast in Anchor, or they could subscribe over on iTunes. And I have to give Anchor a shout out today, though, because I follow their Twitter. And for those of you who are into podcasting, I highly recommend following them on Twitter. 2 of the Anchor podcasts made it into New and Noteworthy, I guess, over the last couple of weeks. And I don't remember the podcast. I just know that they tweeted about it. Andrew said I actually didn't renew 6 in January. So see, he had the same New Year's resolution I did. Yeah. So, you know, it's nice to have these ideas and then go out and register a domain, but don't always let them collect dust. Do something with them. Even if it is like you use this free app, or like I mentioned prior about Linktree. And I'm going to show you Linktree if I can remember where to find it. In fact, I think I threw the piece of paper away this morning when I was cleaning out. And I was like, I'm not talking about that app, but why not? It's not free, though. And that's why I'm not that much of a fan of it. For one thing, it's not free. And secondly, it's not your branding. It's someone else's branding. But let's go for it, okay? I want to be fair and show it to you, okay? So here it is. And I think it started like focusing on having a place for Instagram, right? Because Instagram only lets you have that one link. So, they do have a free version. I'm sorry. All the basics for as long as you like. Free includes unlimited links on your link tree. See how many times each link is clicked and pick from a selection of link tree themes. Okay, let's sign up. Sign up for free. Oh, this page isn't working. Oh, you know what? It could be because you have to sign in with Instagram. And, you know, a lot of the APIs and everything, see, it says Instagram redirecting you too many times. It could be that that's a problem. I'm glad that wasn't the focus of my tutorial today. I just wanted to show you guys as bonus content, those of you who are here for the live stream. But you see, there's a problem with it. And it's probably because of all the API-ness that's going on with Instagram. In fact, let's see what Fax Media Global. I just purchased a Google domain. My name was available. I was charged $12. Okay, you know, having a domain with Google is a good idea because that one is probably not going to get shut down. Oh, however, the link shortener from Google is going to get shut down. It's going to get sunset. So those of you who were depending on Google links and Fax Media Global, you're welcome. But just remember, it's ILEANE. ILEANE. Don't forget the A. Oh, gosh. Oh, that's so cute. Ileane, sorry. Oh, thank you. You just made my heart glad. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, honey. You know, if I'm going to talk about branding, guys, I got to show you how to do it, right? You want to try to use that same handle on your different social platforms as much as possible. Years ago, I found out about the site called Namecheap. Let's see if we can get that one to come up. Hope that one isn't broken by any APIs. Namecheap. So if you're thinking about, maybe I got this idea, let me register all of the social media handles for it and all that. Now, you don't have to use this because they charge you to register the social media handles, but you can use this to check them. So, for example, search over 500 popular social networks, over 150 domain names, and the entire trademark database. Oh yeah, the trademark office. So let's do my free podcast host. Okay. And it tells you quick search of the most popular social networks. Now let's see if it says it's available on Twitter. Nope. See, Twitter is not available. See how it's grayed out? Because I have Twitter. Oh, LinkedIn, it says it's not available, which I think is interesting. And they don't have Twitch on this homepage, but Facebook is available and Foursquare. What about Instagram? Is Instagram on this page? Oh, I could set up a YouTube channel for free podcast hosts right now if I wanted to. I'm not going to, but I could. Okay, so it's a cool way. What I use is, like I said, I use Rebrandly, and so I have free podcast.host. Let's see what happens. I don't think I have that redirected anywhere. So yeah, I do have this as a short link, but I don't have it. I have to have like a slash behind it. Like, for example, free podcast.host/Spreaker. So that would take you right over to my Spreaker page. So I used Rebrandly, used that free podcast host, and there you go. I always like Bitly, since you could use actual words. Yes. Now, I'm glad you brought up Bitly, Andrew, because there is one little issue with Bitly. Bitly is great. I used it for years. I have tutorials here on YouTube about Bitly. Only problem with Bitly is that it's case sensitive. So, if you're on a podcast or you're on your YouTube and you're saying, head over to bit.ly.Zoom talk. But you have to say capital Z, capital T, because if they go lowercase z, lowercase t, or any combination other than what you have, or all caps, or whatever, no cap, it won't work. It's case sensitive. So let's just check it out. bit.ly Zoom talk. Oh, and it starts opening Zoom. Wait, I'm sorry, Andrew. So we're not going to open Zoom. I'll leave. All right, so let's start from scratch. Let's do it without the capitals, right? Because we already saw that it works. Of course it works. I mean, But let's do Zoom talk all lowercase. Doesn't work. Let's do all caps. Doesn't work. So you have to let folks know, because you don't know how they're going to be entering it, that it's capital Z, capital T. And that just, when you're saying it, it's okay if you're able to post a link somewhere. Fine. People are always going to find it, right? But if you're saying it, like I say my links in my podcast, I say my links here. So, like, for example, 2 ways to contact me, right? IleaneSmith.com/contact or IleaneSmith.com/voicemails. Never have to worry about whether it's case, uppercase, lowercase, it doesn't matter. Now, that's a whole nother plugin that has to do because it's a WordPress, but I could also do Ileane.link/contact. And if I haven't done that before, I'm going to do it right now. I'm sorry. I got distracted by that comment that you just said. Okay, yes, it does work. All right, so this is the contact page that I want people to use when they email me. And it's the one from Libsyn, okay? It's my contact page on my Libsyn podcast. So I just want you to see me type it in, Ileane.link/ I'm going to this time type it in all caps. CONTACT, all caps. Still goes to that page. But if I had a bit.ly link, I would have to say whether it's all caps, all lowercase, capital C, lowercase. That's the only thing about bit.ly. Other than that, bit.ly's good. bit.ly gives you great stats and all of that. And for those of you who were here last week when I talked about Rebrandly and I was not seeing the correct stats, I did talk to the folks at Rebrandly and they are no longer connected with bit.ly. So if you're going to use Rebrandly, they have another service called ClickMeter, and that one is not free. I believe they give you a free trial to see all the stats. But they're also going to build out more stats with inside of Rebrandly so that you won't see what I shared last week was just, it'll say you got 29 clicks and that's it. Doesn't tell you what country or anything like that. So you guys are blowing up the chat here. And so let's just say hi to Avi's Arts and Crafts. Hello. You have a content page. No, it's a contact page. Okay. And then earlier you said that Zoom Talk is discontinued. Yes, but that's just the URL that Andrew is using for folks who want to join him when he's doing his tutorials of how to use Zoom, which one day I'm going to be in there learning how to use Zoom because I don't use it. So I don't know how to use it. So I love that Andrew, You know, it's the thing about you. You're supposed to surround yourself with people who have the skills that you don't have. So I know that Andrew knows how to use Zoom Talk. He uses a couple other platforms that I don't use and that I don't know how to use. And it's like, I know I can call Andrew and say, Andrew, or I can message him and say, how do I do such and such a thing? And he can walk me right through it. Love that. Yes. Nope. Contact. You still spelling incorrectly. I'm open 12 hours a day. Andrew, you're the man. You are the man. Thank you. And so let's make sure I didn't miss any others. Okay. Okay, I want to make sure I didn't miss. Jason said that my Jordan Wick site, jwick0418,000, and I'm not have a domain. Ileane. Okay, so if you don't have a domain, I'm not sure how it works with Wix because I never actually use Wix, but they give you a URL. It just may not be custom. So. I am from Philadelphia, Avi's Arts and Crafts. Where are you from? Philadelphia, PA. Yeah, guys. So that was interesting. You know, I love that Ecamm kept all my settings and kept me in the same live stream. And for those of you who weren't here earlier, the stream crashed. Actually, my whole computer crashed. And I appreciate you guys who stayed through that crash and are still here with me. And, you know, I am going to end the stream right now. But I just wanted to let you know why. And why I'm on so early today is my friend, Mr. Rodney, his daughter is expecting. And so the baby shower is today. So wish me well. And if you're on my Instagram, you'll get to see some pics of the expectant mother. She's adorable. Even when she's 9 or 8.5 weeks, months pregnant. So I'm looking forward to that. And it may be some snow flurries here today. I know. It's blasphemy, isn't it? April the 7th, 2018. And they're saying, oh, look for snow flurries. I'm like, what? But, I mean, what the heck? Okay, so I'm at the 1 hour mark. And so with that, guys, I want you all to have a wonderful day. And thank you for the congrats. Andrew, she's having a little boy, and so you're definitely going to see pictures of him when he gets here. And so, and she loves Instagram. She's a big Instagrammer herself, and I think she's also on Snapchat. But I know she loves Instagram. So even if I'm just reposting her stuff, because I know that baby's going to be adorable. Because mother and father are both two cutie patooties. Okay, guys, have a great day, and peace. In the words of Joey Kissimmee, I lay you for free. Bye.